There's like in real estate language.
We're going live. All right, aloha everybody. We are live on the Aloha Friday Real Estate Show. Happy Easter weekend, everybody. Happy Good Friday. We are joined today by all of our friends from across the state, and I think we still have one more coming, but we actually have a double dose of Oahu today. Ashley might have to go, so if she does, then Sasha will pick up the slack for her. But welcome, Sasha and Ashley from Oahu and Mike over on Maui. How's the weather, everybody? How's the weather on Maui, Mike?
South Maui is beautiful. It is currently, that can't be right. It says it's only 74, but it feels a lot warmer. The sun is out. There is a very light breeze. The last few days, we've not had any wind over here, but basically for the last week and a half since the last rainstorm, dude, it was like the rain went away. We got a little sun, but the trades were here every single day, all day. So we will be thankful on this Aloha Friday that we got sunshine and no wind.
I love it. I love it. And actually, we got the two extreme sides of Oahu covered. So we got the west side and the east side. So Sasha, how's things on the west side?
It's lovely. Blue
Looks like
skies,
I can see it in the background.
Can you see?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Love it.
It's beautiful. The
That's
kids
not a
are
fake
out.
background, everybody.
It's Good Friday. Can't complain.
Can't complain. And what about you, Ashley? How's the east side?
God, we have the perfect amount of wind, the perfect amount of sun. It is my absolute favorite time of the year. I am a spring girl through and through. I just hope that we don't have rain next week like they're talking about, because this is perfect. And we get like a few weeks of it, and I want to capture every day.
We are definitely going to talk about the past weather a little bit. That's definitely on the agenda. So it is 10 a.m., folks. Let's get rolling. All right, guys. So you are here at the Aloha Friday Hawaii show. It's April 3rd, Good Friday. Thank you guys for joining us. We have an action-packed show today. Lots on the agenda, all kinds of stuff to cover. But first up, if you haven't visited the new livinginhawaii.com website, please go and take a look. It's totally renovated and refreshed, and there's tons of new content coming out every single week. We got all of our amazing experts from across the state that contribute to this. And so really hyper local information about each island, about each community. And of course, if you ever have any questions, there's tons of opportunities on the site to contact us and reach out, in addition to things like moving calculators and a quiz on whether or not moving to Hawaii is right for you. So check out livinginhawaii.com. Would love your feedback and on the content, the layout, all that good stuff. But lots of hard work went into that, and super stoked at how it turned out. All right, so let's get right into the news, guys, of the week. So the big thing, and we'll go around the horn and talk about this a little bit, is the 2 trillion gallon march that we had. So I found this story and I was like, wow, everybody kind of talks about how many inches their community got in terms of rain, but collectively across the state, if you aggregate all of it up, it was 2 trillion gallons of water. And we're still somewhat in recovery mode in a lot of communities. And so we'll get everybody's take on what that experience was like. NASA had this Artemis 2 lunar mission launch, and the reason it matters to Hawaii is we could actually see it, I guess. We're like one of the few places that could see the launch and see the spacecraft going, and it's the first one to go to the moon in a very long time. So big deal for space travel for NASA. And then the other big thing that's happening this weekend and into next week is the Merrie Monarch Festival. So if you're not familiar with that, it is the largest and most prestigious hula festival in the world. It happens here on the Big Island. It's the biggest thing that happens in Hilo really all year. And the cool thing is now, because everything is online, in the past it was very hard to get tickets. It's still very hard to get tickets to it. There's a lottery to get tickets to it, but it's all streamed online and it's available really to everybody. Back in the old days, it would just be on the local TV channels, and it was hard if you were trying to watch it from the mainland or internationally. But you can go to merriemonarch.com or hawaiinewsnow.com and see all the competition. And the schedule of events is Friday will be Miss Aloha Hula, Saturday will be the Kahiko or the Ohana, and which is the modern hula, and then Sunday will be the Kahiko, which is the traditional hula. So go check that out. And if you're in Hilo, of course, it's a huge festival of shops and pop-ups, and you got all these craft craft fairs and all of the local designers go. This is one of the local designer Aloha shirts that will be there. So go check out the Merrie Monarch, or check it out at merriemonarch.com. All right, so let's go around the horn, guys. And what's that?
So I was gonna say, Dylan, does that mean you and Sasha are gonna end this show with a little hula dance for us? Since you guys are from
not
Hawaii?
This guy. I don't know about Sasha,
I
but
just get volunteered for this. What? Like,
you do not want to see me dance.
my knees and ankles don't dance anymore. Okay, like
that ship has sailed. Huh?
no, but you know what, man, that shirt is beautiful, and the craft fair at the Merrie Monarch, where you can get all that beautiful stuff, is like one of the biggest events in the islands, probably even bigger than the Merrie Monarch itself.
Absolutely.
That craft fair. Yeah.
Yep. It's literally a thing. Like people get dressed up and they put the big
People
flowers in
like
their
go
hair,
on
all
purpose just to go there. Yeah.
Totally.
And you bring thousands of dollars to spend
all of it.
but it's all the best local artists that you'll ever see in one place with the most pride, you know.
Totally.
Do you have to have tickets to go to the craft fair portion of it?
No, that stuff is like well, there's a bunch of different ones. I mean, there's some that are in like the civic center. There's some that are in the mall, kind of does additional stuff and pop-ups, and so there's a bunch of different places that you can go. But yeah, that stuff is all just like it's like a kind of a swap meet kind of style, right? People in their booths and tables and chairs and stuff.
But to get the actual Merrie Monarch shirt, you do need to pre-order those. They sell out. They don't have any additional ones.
Oh yeah, I think those they start them like a year ahead of time.
Yeah, we missed the sign-in sheet. My daughter dances for Moha'i Lima, Mapuana de Silver, and we missed the shirt deadline to get one this year. I was like, dang, and there's no extras. No one can give you like a hookup or something. At least we're not at that level.
That is a tradition, like all the years of having the shirts. People have shirts 20 years back that are all faded but still going.
Like the collection.
The collection, yeah.
Now you're making me even more sad we missed it.
So let's get a quick rundown, guys, of what was your experience during the Kona Low in your community, and any kind of feedback, lessons learned that you got from that. We'll start over in Maui with Mike.
So for me, my personal experience where I live in Wailua, we're elevated kind of on a hillside. So my immediate neighborhood didn't experience any flooding. We got a bunch of rain, absolutely. And there was a lot of debris out on the roads. Quite a few trees had fallen, branches had fallen, but we didn't have the flooding. I saw a report somewhere, and one of the elementary schools here in South Maui, they had their rain gauge, and it was the first weekend of the storm, but they recorded over a 5-day period 35.49 inches of rain. So darn near 3 feet of rain in that short period. Now South Maui, so that's Kihei, Wailua, and Makina, did experience, other areas of South Maui did experience some severe flooding. The north end of Kihei, every year, I've lived here for 6 years, every winter when we get some amount of rain, heavy rains, there is flooding. Now, this year, we got substantial rain, and the flooding and the mudslide that went across the road. The road's still not open, and one of the condo complexes, I believe it was like an 8-unit complex, literally washed off of its foundation, and I don't know how many feet it moved, but it slid into an adjacent larger condo complex next to it. And then in about central Kihei, middle of Kihei, there was a big sinkhole, and half of the road collapsed right onto the beach. I mean, it just all washed away. So there are still cleanup and recovery efforts there. And like Ashley was saying, my wife was just looking this morning at the forecast, and it's showing potential rain next week. And we're like, no, not yet. We don't need it yet.
Yeah. We're hoping that things calm down. But I mean, that was, for me, I mean, by all accounts, probably the worst flooding that we've seen in Kona anyway, in my lifetime. There was substantial damage, and our kids' high school is actually still closed. So and it's a kind of indefinite. So there was so much damage, like 75% of the school was flooded and damaged. And so the kids are on online school right now. So we'll see how that turns out. How about on the west side, Sasha? How was it for you? Oh, you gotta unmute.
First the camera, then the mic. Okay. I live out in Kapolei, so I kind of face southwest, and we're flat, we're dry. We didn't really experience a lot, but the rest of the island just got slammed. You going west, part of our road fell into the ocean out by Keao. The debris and everything that came down from the rivers and the mountains down Nanakuli, down through Makaha, ended up on the beach was incredible. But the community pulled together, and I think within 3 hours, Makaha Beach was completely cleared out and cleaned and picked up. So they did good. And out North Shore, though, North Shore is still going through it. And we're praying that this next storm just kind of eases up or misses us or something, because we don't need that right now. There's hubs set up where volunteers are collecting donations, helping to pass things out. People are really banding together with community support for tools and equipment to just clean. We have a rubbish problem. So thousands of cars and households were damaged and completely destroyed in these floods. And so not only has our island had a big debate and still ongoing as to where our next dump is going and when and the capacity of them, but now Patsy Mink Park is holding all the rubbish from the flood. So we got a lot going on here on the island.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. The landfill's been at capacity for a long time, and now there's a huge influx of unexpected.
Yeah,
debris,
like where do we put all these cars that are just trash now, and then all the living room sets and bedroom sets and appliances that are no good? Like, it's insane. I don't know. It's something that we have to deal with now. But I think our people are strong, and everybody's keeping good spirits. And helping each other, that's I think
that's definitely been the best. One of the best, if there's a bright spot of the whole experience, is that the community's coming together and cleaning up quickly and helping each other out. Has been amazing, like it always is, and that's always one of the special, most best things about Hawaii is that that always happens every time we have these challenges. So all right, we got Ronnie joining us. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Here in Maui, same thing, the community effort to start cleaning things up and help each other out, help the neighbors out. I'm in several Maui Facebook groups, and a lot of people were banding together, helping clean up. And a lot of visitors, a lot of tourists were coming asking, hey, we still plan to come, but we want to spend part of our vacation here helping with cleanup efforts. How can we get, who can we get in contact with? Who can we help support? So that is another big thing that, the community in Hawaii, all of the islands, is just not like anything I've experienced back on the mainland.
Totally. All right, welcome, Ronnie. Better late than never, right? Is the theme. So we're just doing a quick rundown of experience during the Kona lull and the 2 trillion gallons of rain that we got. What was it? Kauai gets the most rain, so a lot of times I think that we probably equipped the best to handle a lot of rain. Some of our other communities are not. But what was the experience there?
Well, there was nothing here, but interestingly enough, the week before, they had predicted these huge storms. And, I actually never pay attention to the weather. I mean, if it was a hurricane watch, I would, but I don't, because half the time they're right, half the time they're wrong. And I grew up in Philadelphia where it rains all the time. So, I'm in love when I hear the sound of the rain on the roof and outside. The week before, we were supposed to have 4 straight days of rain, and we had like one afternoon heavy shower for maybe 90 minutes, and that was it. And then the next week, it was nothing as serious as what happened. Of course, we get all the alerts. I was really pissed off on it. It was a Saturday night, and I had, on the streaming box, I had Saturday Night Live record. Then when I went to watch it about 10 o'clock, all the flood watches for both the other islands was like coming across the screen, which totally mutes the sound. I completely missed a lot of the punchlines. But I will say, Dylan, that in 2018, we had this horrific rain.
Yep.
And it took out part of the road. It just literally took out part of the road north, west of Honolulu. And for 18 months, there were like 1-lane caravans. And it was so interesting because when there's a disaster, the county and the state, they try and get their act together. Meanwhile, the Honolulu Initiative, which is a nonprofit in Honolulu, called me, president of the Rotary Club, while I wasn't president then. I borrowed a bus from a music nonprofit. We went up to Princeville. One of the famous surfers up there let people come across on like little dinghies from Honolulu to his house, on the Princeville side, some multi-million estate. Then they would come up, we'd take them on the bus so they could get up to Princeville to get their ride to work. And it happened, in about 1 hour. So it always amazes me, you talk about the community coming together. I've always wanted there to be much more connection between nonprofits, in the whole state, because we do so much more together.
Totally. Absolutely. And what about Ashley on the east side? What was
East side, we lost power. That was probably my pool turned into a full water yard. And I didn't want to drain it into the canal because I didn't know if they were dredging the canal. And so, they did prepare, sadly not on the North Shore, but they did prepare here in Kailua. The power though, our power on the east side, Kailua specifically, is extremely spotty. And I did not have power for almost 40 hours. And that was really frustrating. Obviously, all of our food was compromised and stuff like that. Our Wi-Fi, our router short-circuited, our dryer from just the surge. They tried turning on the power a couple of times and just big booms and then it shuts down again. So haven't had issues since. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm from the North Shore. I've lived there for a long time. So had a lot of friends and stuff that were impacted, still shoveling out mud in some of the houses that are not part of the more predominant streets that were widely affected. And then another thing people don't want to talk about because it's yucky is cesspools are still a thing here, right? And so a lot of these cesspools, like some of the houses I had to get them pumped before, during, and after because they overflow and a lot of people did not prepare for that and did not do that. And the second wave came. And so a lot of cesspools overflooded as well, not only just into the ocean, but in yards. And that's just gross. So that's my heated warning for this next, if we do get this weather band that comes through next week, if you have a cesspool, even a septic system, contact your local companies and get them pumped in advance before the storm comes.
That is good advice, everybody. Yes. Yeah. Prepare.
There's been a lot of reports of people getting sick, and that was actually my main concern because I lived out that side for a long time on farms and places where we had leach fields, and it's not even just the tanks are really old, right? But the leach fields, man, there's been reports going around like, people coming home, they're like, my skin was burning after shoveling mud. So if you're going to go help or you can, like, bring PPE and maybe shoes and clothes that you can just toss afterwards, sanitize after, be clean because, yeah, impetigo is a real thing.
That's some gross stuff out there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. We got a live question, you guys, from Irvin F4S for Ronnie. Ronnie, what I had a question for Ronnie about potentially using a tiny house on property you own. I know each island has its own allowances. So what's the deal with tiny homes on Kauai, Ronnie?
Well, believe it or not, let me not cut my head off so much. Ashley, I'm making Ashley laugh. I love Ashley.
I did not mean to laugh while we're talking about something so happy.
She is the best. She is the best. If you want an agent on Oahu that will knock your socks off and beat your ass in pickleball, you got to call Ashley. Okay. The county of Kauai recognizes tiny houses. And so it would depend on the entitlements on your particular property. So it used to be, if you're zoned R2, 2 homes to an acre, R4, 4 homes to an acre, you could usually get an ADU permit for an additional dwelling unit. In an effort to, create more housing, about 5 years ago, they created an ARU. That's an additional rental unit. It has to be rented out to a certain, niche of rental tenant and at a certain rate. And mostly those kind of properties, you could do both. And then they extended it further that you could have both those expansions on ag zone property. And I always laugh, when I would go to the general membership meetings, and I probably said this on the show before, and Paul Brubaker would talk about, the lack of housing and how bad the planning and building and zoning are, the government, which we all know. He said, whatever they couldn't figure out, they just zoned in agricultural. And so, much of all the country is zoned agriculture, even though you would need to have at least 5 acres to build a second home. If you had 4, you couldn't, so I always thought that was strange, but there's multiple sides to that. Anyway, I hope I answered your tiny house question. And of course, you can email me or call me at 808-346-7095, and I'll answer it in more depth if you need it.
And I think important context to this question is, what is the definition of a tiny home? Because there's tiny homes on wheels, which is, I think, what most people think about. There's also the container homes now that they kind of transform into a little house, and it really depends on county zoning and what you're planning to do. Are you adding it to a property that already has a built house? There's a lot of nuance to this, so definitely, ask the crew if you have a question about this specifically on an island. Ask the crew, and we need more details on what you.
I think that's a really good point, because they, if it's just a trailer or something, there's like definite specific rules and what you can do with electric or what you can do with wastewater, whatever. When I see that question on my screen, I'm thinking of like the formal, a tiny house that's like an actual built home. It's just tiny.
Yeah, it's a small square footage home.
There you go.
All right. Okay, guys, let's jump into our market updates. Bring up the slides here, and we'll get into Oahu first.
This is before I knew the double book. This is my slide.
You guys both get 1 minute. How about that? So we can split it up.
Just in short, the market's strong on Oahu. The median sales price for single family homes is, as you can see, is up from last year, 3.25%. For condos, it's up 4.76%. So that's this pretty significant increase for our condo market. The number of sales, the closed sales is up as well. 26% from last year in single families and 5% in condos. How long they're staying on market is longer. So we're seeing that, I think, across all islands and the nation, just things are lasting longer. But I always
but minor, right? I mean, 4 days, 2 days, like that's not like it's a pretty minor increase.
They're minor. They say 19 days for median sales price for single family homes, but that's not accurate. If I'm being honest, it's how they store the data, but that's after the listings expired or were withdrawn and then relisted
at a lower price.
Yeah, and relisted at a lower price, because the days on market are longer than 19 days. I mean, you might have some like fire sale areas, but no, 19 days is so fast. Like, that is not an expectation if you are a seller, unless if you're willing to sell at a really competitive price and you have something that checks everyone's boxes. So I don't even really like to showcase median because I don't feel like it's a fair comparison. But I always like to go pre-COVID market just to show, what it is after a boom. So we're still looking hot compared to 2019.
Big time. Yeah, big time. It's good context as always. All right, who's this? This is Ronnie. What's happening on Kauai, Ronnie?
Well, you can read the numbers. 37% fewer sales in March of this year compared to last year. 30%. I got to make my type bigger.
Fewer sales year to date.
42% volume drop in March. And yeah, I keep telling Gamma, use a large font. I'm on a podcast. I'll tell you. Volume drop 42%, and year to date down 28%. So basically
tale of two markets here, very different, very divergent from the strong market in Oahu.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure Maui's numbers aren't going to be too far afield from these. At least that would be my bet. But go on to the next slide, please. Yeah, and this is just showing you, you can see it again visually. The thing to point out from this slide is the number of residential sales is just down a tiny bit, right? Even in February, we had 31 sales go under contract and 29 list. So that means, more homes are selling than are coming on the market. But look at the condo graph, the second one down. It's a whole different story.
It's almost half.
And I don't know, I don't know what's going to happen to change that. Well, I do know sellers are going to need to bring their prices down. I love to tell the sellers, we can list this at a price you want to sell. I'd really much rather do that than come to you in 2 weeks and apologize for asking you to bring the price down. Vacant land also soft. And go on to the next slide, please, Dylan. And here they are, the key takeaways. Volumes down, residential prices are holding. Sometimes in we have 5 zones on the island. Condo and land, super soft. North Shore, Princeville, Honolulu, Kilauea, and still strong. Lots of multi-million-dollar sales. And like Ashley was saying, I mean, each market is a micro market, and each condo complex is a micro market. You can have prices, medium prices going down, prices in a complex going down, and then the one next door that has the huge ocean views that hasn't had a unit on the market for 4 months. Guess what happens when it lists? It's going to be higher than the last one, and it's going to sell in 3 days. So that's how it is out here on the little tiny Garden Island. I just love it, Dylan. We're so in the numbers. It's like we had 22 sales last month. Wow. Okay. No, so we were up, right? We were up from January, right? That it's like it's still, 47 sales for an entire month. Give me a break.
Yeah. The tale of two markets. All right, this is Sasha, right? What are your big takeaways?
Oahu's still expensive. Ashley kind of summed it up. We basically got almost the same data. Average condos here are like 500-600. They're kind of reaching up about 6 now, but they're sitting on market forever, and half of them aren't even like financeable because of HOAs not being up to par and insurances and things like that. So we are seeing a lot of them sitting a long time. And I'm also noticing that our buyers who were in the condo space seems like we're a lot of like Airbnb types, and they're not allowed here anymore. So I'm seeing a lot more units sit because of that too, especially in town. Island wide, I mean, our average price is $1 million for a single family, give or take. I want to say I'm seeing buyers at the price point more between like $650 to $850 on average. So,
but in your core market, kind of on the west side, that's still possible, right? Because when you look at median price or average prices, it's kind of like that's across the board, but still possible.
Yeah, it is. It is. If you hit the other side, like Kailua, you're looking at easy $1 million starting just because of the price, just because of the zip code,
Yeah.
But it's Oahu.
Good take. All right. And so Mike didn't get the lesson on how to use AI to make his slide beautiful yet. So we're gonna work with him on that, and Ronnie can give him a lesson on the
Got
AI
the little
slides.
banana at the bottom.
at the end of the day, the data is still the data, no matter how pretty your slide is. So
yeah, Sasha told me that there's a way on Google Slides that you can make it beautify. So I'll have to try that next week. So whatever, you get to see the numbers here. It's not nice and pretty. And RAM, the Realtors Association of Maui, they release the previous month statistics within the first 10 days. So they haven't actually released data. So I went in and just did some searches on our MLS. But if you look for the March of this year, and this is comparing March of 26 to February of 26. So February to March difference. Residential, we had 79 sales. They ranged from 350K to 6.6 million. In February, though, we had 46 sales. So that's actually up. Sorry, I did the math wrong.
that's a big jump.
Up 58%. So that number's wrong there. And then condos, though, this month March we had 75. Those range from 140K to a whopping 12.3 million. That guy was down in McKenna. And I also did the math wrong there. It's up 85%.
We're sensing the theme.
Yeah, me and math. I'm really not good at math. So it's up 15%, not down. And then land, we had 6 sales in March and then 12 in February. Those range 275K to 1.3 million, and that's up 50%.
Where do you get a?
I don't know.
Where do you get a piece of land for 275K on Maui? Is that upcountry, Kihei, or like?
Let's look very quickly. The 275
landlocked, no road access.
Yeah, in a flood zone.
So the 275K one was actually in Wailuku. It is 0.21 acres, and it's got a lot of rubbish on it, so it needs
leasehold. Is it
Ooh, let's see. Is it leasehold? No.
It's got to be conservation then.
There's water meter installed. This vacant lot is situated.
It's tiny. That's the issue. It's 0.2. You know, it's like what?
0.2 or 2 acres. I thought you said 2 acres.
No, 0.2. So 9,500.
Yeah, so it's like 8,000 square feet or something, right? So it's a small.
Hey, on Oahu.
But that's a lot.
That's big land.
That's a lot. If you can get a 5,000 square foot lot here on Oahu, that's a lot. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
Thinking quarter acre on Maui for 275. Bet that's a good deal.
So yeah, it says it's an older subdivision with no HOA. Owner wants to sell as reflected in the list price.
All right. I'll give you guys a quick. We got plenty more to get to, so I'll give you guys a quick Big Island update. This is just tracking sales for the last 12 months. February was one of the lowest months of number of sales in the last 12. There was 276, and back in November there's 273. So those two are definitely outliers in number of sales, but that bumped back up in March. So in March there was 355. So weird kind of market, up and down all over the place. We'll see if that becomes a trend or not, but definitely February was super slow, but March rebounded completely, and we had like 80 more sales in March than we did in February. But the other thing that I wanted to discuss with everybody, so let me know if you have some thoughts here, is I got a couple of national market slides, and I think this is important to kind of understand what's going on nationally and then how it translates to Hawaii. But this is inventory in the month of February for the last 10 years. And it feels like where we're all talking about, hey, lots of new inventory, lots of new homes on the market. We are still pre-COVID levels, right? So there was always 1 million or more listings on the market nationally, 2020 and previous, and we're still only at 914,000. So we've seen this steady increase since 2020 of inventory, but still nationally, this varies market by market, but definitely true here in Hawaii too, where we still are kind of just starting to get back to pre-COVID levels. And so it's not a crisis that, that there's all these homes on the market. We're just kind of balancing out where we've been in the last 5 years. And then this is the bad news. This is an interesting statistic. And let me, are you guys experiencing this in your markets? Is we have the highest number of cancellations of escrow nationally that we've had in the last 10 years. And so at 13.7% of transactions are canceling before they close. And it's not a humongous increase. I mean, it's 1% more than kind of what we've been seeing in the last 10 years on average, but it's still an interesting stat that there's just on average more cancellations than there has been in the past. And then the other big news, right, is always interest rates. And so I like to look at things in context, and rates are really volatile right now. They're up and down. But if you look at interest rates today, they're at their lowest levels on average, and they've been in the last 3.5 years. So although they're not in the fives or the fours like people would like them to be, it's just not it's not as high as it's been. And so if you're waiting for a low interest rate market, we're in the lowest interest rate market that we've seen in the last 3.5 years. And so I think that's good context just to think about where we're at and where we're at in the market. But any thoughts on these stats, guys? Any reaction?
I love them. I think that that's a nice overview from, a national standpoint. And I think that that puts things into perspective. I do think Hawaii, we're a little bit isolated from the rest of the national market. So we have our micro market, but overall, I think that this is a really good reminder that we're still in a great neutral market for buyers and sellers.
Yeah, I think that's a very good reminder, is that it's not like this one-sided. We've seen one-sided for so long that the balance is much needed in the last 5 years. So, all right, any other thoughts before we move on?
Yes, I have a thought, although there's someone working in my kitchen that's very loud. I'm not sure. He may come in. You may hear some background white noise. There you go.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
My thought is this. Number one, as it relates to the inventory slide, our inventory is coming back slower than I think most markets on the mainland, from what I can tell and from talking to agents in other markets. Number two, I wanted to make a joke. I was going to say on that slide about things falling out of escrow. That's only because so many young agents don't know what they're doing, and their level of service sucks, so the number's going up. But no, that may not be the reason. But the slide you put up about interest rates, right? That's a current graph, kind of, but it looks like it's pre-war to me. Because, there was that moment 2 weeks ago when things dipped down to 5.9 for one day. For one day, they were like the lowest they'd been in years. And I think when I looked yesterday, it was like 6.4. And, the bottom line, if you're watching this show and you're interested in living in Hawaii, pay attention to what you want to do and where your heart is and the kind of life you want to lead. Because it's not about the mortgage rate. It's not at all about the mortgage rate. They'll go up, they'll go down. But why wait? Especially if you're buying a condo and you have so much leverage with all this inventory.
Yeah, that's a big consideration right now, is that the negotiating power and ability to get a property now at a discount based on everything else that's going on in the market far outweighs the financial benefit is far greater than the financial benefit of a lower interest rate in the future, which you can always capture if you refinance in the future. So that's definitely a good reminder. All right, moving right along. Let's hit this one real quick, actually, and then we'll get into our diamonds and deals. So a couple of questions from the audience. Do most homes rely on private wells or city water? What maintenance issues come with each? How fast is internet in rural areas versus urban Honolulu? And are there connectivity black spots? So let's start with that on Oahu. Sasha, just a quick take on these. Internet, water. Oahu's pretty straightforward, right? Everybody's got municipal water on Oahu.
We're pretty connected. Unless you're trying to buy like up in Kunia or farmland or something like that. But yeah, we're connected. I don't know of a lot of private wells. Actually, the farm my husband's family has a farm and they've got private wells, but it's not normal.
Very rare, right? Yeah.
Yeah, very rare. Internet is great. We've got 5G towers going up all over the place. I have been in like Kahala at one time, and I couldn't get internet, and I couldn't understand why. It was like I didn't have a hotspot or something. Like it's because people are stingy with their hotspots. No, but Wi-Fi is like so easy. You can go to any mall, McDonald's, Starbucks. Like I wouldn't say Wi-Fi is a problem here at all.
Yeah, would agree. Mike, what about Maui?
As far as the private wells, I think it's spot specific too. There's areas out east when you go towards Hana that are not on municipal, and when you get up into the higher areas of like Kula or even above Makawao, I'm sure there's private wells up there. But most like the bigger cities are all municipal water, and then internet. I don't live out east towards Hana, so I can't really speak for that, and I don't show property out there. So I'm going to assume it's probably pretty spotty depending on where you're at. I know for cell service, it's very spotty when you do the road to Hana once you get past Twin Falls. So like basically once you start the road to Hana drive, it's cell service is spotty. And then I drive to Lahaina still pretty frequently. And there's like about a 1.5 mile stretch in the middle of it where the tunnel's at that you'll drop. And for the longest time, usually I'm on the phone when I make that drive in. Aloha was fine. I could talk through Aloha, but last Friday when I went to see my chiropractor, both times it dropped for about 1.5 miles there. So it's most places the Wi-Fi and cell service are great, but there are a couple of spotty patches.
Yeah. Cool. Ronnie, what about Kauai?
Mostly it's county water. It's really good water. It's regarded as very good water. There are some private wells on ag property. If you're a person that buys a piece of land and you need to get a private well, you're going to be on Hawaii time because there's no one on this island that will, dig a well for you, and you're going to pay a lot of money. But there are some well systems, but it's a few and far between. The internet, we have Spectrum, and they've got kind of the regular service you might get with cable, and then you can buy higher speed. And then Hawaiian Tel has been running fiber here for the last 3 years. So the internet's quite good. I think through all the islands, we have so many people that are blessed with a life where they can come and telework. They might have to get up early in the morning, but we sure have a lot of them on the island of Kauai. And if you're in an off-the-grid property, like way back off the main road, and there's no cable, and there's no internet, and there's no phone sometimes, you're going to be SOL. When I first read that second question, I was thinking phone service, but the question was about internet. But I was going to say, tell me some place in the world where there aren't dead spots with a cell phone.
Right. Yeah. I think it's probably less here than most places, just because it's geographically tight, so it's easier to cover everywhere. So, Any other thoughts on Oahu, Ashley, on water or internet?
I already touched on cesspools, which is the other utility to keep an eye out for. And Oahu is unique. You have, mostly septic systems on the north with some cesspools, but then all of a sudden you'll have like a random pocket that has sewer, like in Laie. Unlike the south side and east side and west is mostly sewer based. But no, internet is great. We don't have a complete monopoly. You have a couple options. Electric is a monopoly. In fact, we just got a notice from Star Advertiser that HECO, Hawaiian Electric Company, has now warned its residents to expect for April and above 20 to 30% increase on their electric bills due to the oil crisis. So if you have solar, maybe look into getting a battery if you're here or anywhere, I'm sure. No other additions.
That's a good point. Is the most unorthodox utility that we have doesn't really have to do with water or internet. It has to do with wastewater. So that's something that you definitely want to look into. On the Big Island, I can tell you guys this just for a quick. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna piggyback off what Ronnie was saying on ag land, or not ag land, but vacant lots, especially upcountry. You gotta really watch the parcel you're buying, because if there's not a water meter, the wait time on that is very significant here. I know an investor guy who's lived on island a very long time. He owns a lot somewhere upcountry, And at a meeting we were at, he's been waiting over 12 years to get his meter installed.
That's insane. That's totally insane.
So you need to watch. Be careful of that.
He did something to somebody at the county, must be. But
I was gonna say, I mean, there's a long wait time, but 12 years is above average.
I don't know the whole details of all that, but yeah.
I don't think that guy knew that you just walk into the water company with a bottle of Patron and it really shortens.
That's expert advice right there. And one thing I would add to this, on water on the Big Island, we have lots of catchment, right? So that we have actually 30% of the island is not on any type of municipal water, and they do catchment systems. And the reason for that is that drilling wells here is somewhat impractical, and that's why the primarily all the water is drilled and extracted by the county. And the reason for that on the Big Island is you need to drill at about 1,500 feet. So you got to drill down 1,500 feet to get the fresh water, because the way the islands are, there's the water at the edge of the islands is brackish because you have the ocean water that seeps into the land, and so there's a lens of fresh water that sits at the like in the middle of the island, and you have to go up into the elevation to drill down to get to where the lens is fresh. And that's the case pretty much on all the islands. If you think about where the wells are, where the county drills for water, it's always up in the highest elevations on the islands. It's not near the ocean, because you'll get brackish water. So and then drilling through volcanic rock is not exactly cheap either. And so in general, very, very few wells on all the islands. You're not going to see that very often. And the alternative, if you don't have county water, is catchment in most cases. So, all right, let's get into diamonds and deals, everybody. We're burning through. We're at 10:45 already. Let's see who is up first. These are featured properties that everybody picks out that is either a diamond or a deal or both. So, Sasha, what you got here? Sasha's kicking us off with a deal.
I got a deal for you.
Let's go.
So I want to highlight my listing at 4198 Atkinson Drive, number 806. This is right on the edge of Waikiki. It borders the Aloha. If we were on the other side of the Aloha, you'd be at the beginning of Waikiki, and this would be a lot more expensive. I feel this is the best deal right now because, one, you can see it's a big open studio. It used to be a 2-bedroom. Tax records still say 2-bedroom, but the previous owners tore walls out a long time ago. It's now 792 square feet, which is huge, especially on Oahu. If you're looking at studios, you're lucky if they're like 400 to 500 square feet, and this is like almost double. The water and sewer is included with HOA. HOA is at about $865 a month. But the building is going through renovations. So right now the kitchen doesn't work. It's a kitchenette. It's totally like a bachelor pad, to be honest. If you don't like to cook, it's okay because you got Ala Moana right across the street. You got the Y next door with food trucks. You can Uber. I mean, this is like the best location ever. And check out this view. I went live on my TikTok for like the last couple of weeks to do open house live. I got like tons of people in there. And before I give them the price, I asked them, what do you think this should sell for? If you were going to buy this, and I let people tell me. And the lowest number I got was, guess how much? 750,000. And I had people saying that's like 2 million, 2.5, 2.7 for this view. Okay, it overlooks Aloha Boat Harbor. It's Aloha. You get ocean view, and just to the left, if you look out this patio to the left, you can see fireworks on Friday nights. The building itself is Atkinson Towers, and it's already budgeted. There's no assessments coming up. It's got plumbing and electric work coming up. They're doing the elevators. So this building is getting improvements, which is going to bring the value of these units up. Right now, it's listed at $315,000 fee simple. No, you cannot Airbnb it because it's Oahu. We can't do Airbnbs for most of it. But this is a great location, total sweet spot. And like I said, the building is getting its upgrade. So the value of this is going to go up. Like I said, it is a kitchenette at the moment. You could use a hot plate or an air fryer, but it works. Water works and electric works. And all of the other units who are saying, oh, well, our kitchen works. Well, guess what? When the building does their renovations and fixes the plumbing and electric, they're going to have to get behind those walls, and everybody's going to have to remodel their kitchens anyway. Okay, so this is a blank slate. Contractors have come in and been like, oh, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work for their buy box, but it is a great unit, and I just wanted to highlight it. You should get it.
Awesome, what a deal. Absolutely. 315 in Oahu in the core. I mean, what a deal. Absolutely. And HOA is under $1,000, and HOA is under $1,000 with a view. Yeah, killer. And it looks like there's a tennis court down there. Is that the complex's tennis court?
No, we actually don't really have any amenities. It used to have a pool. They filled in the pool and made it parking, so we got parking. Lease parking, actually. The building is all lease parking. We sit next to Yacht Harbor Towers, which is that tall building there to the right in front of the window. And that's their pickleball court.
Go make a friend. Go make a friend next door. And you go play pickleball.
Yeah. So they play pickleball down there. It also sits right next to the YMCA as well. So, and then we're like a 2-minute walk to Magic Island. Ala Moana is directly across the street. We are maybe a football field from the convention center. I can see 24-hour Fitness and Hawaiian Brian's from the balcony.
We're sold, Sasha. We're sold. Sold.
Okay. Bring me a buyer, you guys.
Okay, sounds good. Love it. Great deal. All right. What we got here? Is this Mike?
That is me here on Maui. So I've actually toured this home on Caravan a few months ago, and it was originally built in 78, but they remodeled in 2025. It's absolutely beautiful. It's 3435 Ho'okipa Place in Maui Meadows. It's a 5-bedroom, 4-bath home. It's just over 3,000 square feet, and they've got it listed at 3.2 million. The home is all very modern design, but what the big selling point here with this one is the views. I mean, these are just a couple of the big unobstructed ocean views, freshly remodeled house. And the design of this home, the downstairs can be locked off from the upstairs. So you could potentially live, either level and then rent one of the other levels out. But I do want to note that this is a CPR lot. So if you're looking at the picture on the upper right-hand side, there is one more lot that is not built on, kind of on the upper right-hand portion of the house. But it is only permitted to have an ADU of up to 840 square feet. So either you buy that lot, or the chances of somebody buying that anytime soon, probably not the greatest. But this one, I would say for Maui Meadows, is definitely a deal. It has been on the market for 239 days. So I'm sure there is some wiggle room on that price there. Make an offer. Now, I do want to note that's not my listing. It is listed by Ronnie Ponzarini. He's Equity One Real Estate.
Love it. Thanks for that highlight. All right. And if you don't know what a CPR is, guys, my YouTube video this week will be on CPRs. So go check out my YouTube channel and you get all the information you need about what a CPR is.
No, go check out my YouTube channel. I have plenty of videos there with CPRs.
Yes, check out Ronnie's too.
Yeah. Now,
all right, Ronnie, what you got?
You gotta love this, Dylan. This is like download 2 pictures and tell Gemini what to do.
Right? Exactly.
That's it. You got it. I love it. This is my partner, Kat Owano Mobley. Actually, it's a co-listing with Julia Costa, another one of our great agents from another island. Big Island?
Big Island, yep.
Yeah. But she grew up here on Kauai. And I'm calling this a diamond because I love this neighborhood. This is the Wailua house lots. It's walking distance to Wailua Bay and Wailua Beach. It's also walking distance to Ke'alahele Makala'a. That's our walking path by the sea. We're the only island that has a multi-use path like that. And it's ready for someone that wants to live, it's 10 minutes from the town core. And it's a great house. And Can I have as much time as Sasha? Because I could do like 4 or 5 other listings here.
No, we're out of time. We're out of time.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks.
All right. So reach out to Roddy, guys, if you want more information on this. We got Ashley up. We got Ashley up next.
I stayed long enough. So I just wanted to say this because I think this is such a cool property and I want to find a buyer for it. This is a commercial property. It's in Waimanalo, 10 minutes from Kailua, 10 minutes to Hawaii Kai. And it is just over 2 acres. It's where the Jack in the Box is, if you're familiar with the east side of Oahu. And it's got 95 parking stalls. It has office buildings on the 2nd floor and then all of the businesses on the bottom floor. And it's a fee simple purchase for $10.5 million. But
I don't understand why you're not buying that.
I'm trying to find capital partners to see if I can put the deal together. But in the meantime, maybe I'll find someone here on the show. So if you guys like investing,
We could maybe borrow against living in Hawaii.
Okay, perfect. Let's look at
that would be awesome.
loan.
The Living in Hawaii Bank will finance it. Yeah. And does this include the Jack in the Box and the gas station?
You get the franchise.
Jack in the Box. So Jack in the Box is the gas station is not included in it, but it is fee simple. Gas station is its own parcel. It comes with 2 TMKs. But the interesting thing and the value add here is it's only at 65% occupancy. So there is tons of value add in this building. You have the land behind it, so no one will be building behind you. It's just a super this could become something. So that is my diamond in deal. And I really wanted to highlight that before I jumped off. Also, I know we got to go, but you did not touch on the rocket. And I just wanted a quick shout out because my better half's best friend's daughter has been working on it for the last 2 years. And she is born and raised on Oahu. She is a literal rocket scientist. And that was a part of her project. And we were just so proud of her. And it was so exciting to see that finally launch yesterday.
I love the connection. That's great. What a small
world.
That's
beautiful.
We didn't cue that up. That's why I didn't know to highlight you, Ashley. So thanks for bringing.
Yeah, I stayed on for that.
Right. You could have interjected like Ron. You could have just interjected like Ronnie does. You just go ahead and tell me. All right, so I'll just go real quick, guys. This is a brand new build in Champions Ridge in Monalani. It's under 7 million. So if you know the Monalani area, that's a very competitive price. And this is completely fresh new build. It's actually just probably going to be completed at the end of this month or early next month, but we're already having it available for open houses. So if you want to come check this out and you're in the market for a North Kona, just absolutely luxurious property. It's going to have a pool. It's got some views from the 2nd story, but killer property up in Champions Ridge. So let us know if you have any questions. And then on today, actually, right now, the open house is happening. So if you're watching this show and you want to go over and look at it, go take a look. All right, guys. One more announcement, and then we'll get into our closing thoughts, guys. We are bringing back the Islander Ohana cohorts. So the first one is going to happen this spring. We have a new host because of Peter's retirement. So Nancy Miller is a resident over here in Kona and has just all kinds of knowledge and a teaching background. So she's going to be doing the cohort. It's starting up. Let me give you the dates right here. Where we at? So here's the QR code. So if you scan this QR code, you can get all the information. It'll take you to our website. This is kind of what the flow looks like. It's a 6-week class. There's an online portion of the classes, and then there's a live class on Saturdays from 10 to 11 Hawaii Standard Time for those 6 weeks. So if you're looking at getting information, live interaction, interactive information, you can get it always from the show and from the Living in Hawaii website. But if you really want to dive deep and build the community, that's the biggest thing that has come out of these programs, is that you come here with the community. We invite all of the alumni to also participate, and then there is a monthly meetup that we do on Saturdays where they get together and all the alumni from the Islander Ohanas get together and connect. And so it's turned into a really cool thing where there's even in-person meetups that they do. But if you're looking, no matter how far out you are, if you're looking to make the move to Hawaii and really want to start to evaluate all of your options and get highly educated, this is the only thing of its kind in the state. And so we're inviting everybody to sign up. So there is the QR code with all the information. Go ahead and scan that and we'll get you signed up. All right. last thing, closing thoughts, guys. We got to go fast. We got 3 minutes. So, Sasha, you're up first.
Okay, so because it's Good Friday and we're heading into Easter Resurrection weekend and it's Holy Week, I'm gonna leave with John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him shall have eternal life. May the blessings of the Lord Jesus Christ be upon you and your homes. Aloha.
Love that. Perfect for the season. Perfect for the weekend.
Yes.
Ashley.
I was not on theme. Dang it. If you want it, you will find a way. If you don't, you will find an excuse. This is
what a beautiful. Notice who's in that picture.
That's me and my daughter. We
I
lost
know
our other.
that. I know that. I love your daughter.
That's the ex's boat. But I love your.
That doesn't matter though.
We don't need to go there. If you find a way, don't find an excuse. Right?
You should
and look at you sailing off into the sunset.
I love it. I love it. All right, Mike, what you got?
All right, I have two of them because I like them both. You cannot be afraid to disappoint people. You have to live the life you want to live. And the second one is the only limits you have are the limits you believe. And that's from a gentleman named David Goggins. If you're not familiar with him, go YouTube him. Get his book, Can't Hurt Me.
One of my favorite modern day philosophers and insane people in the world physically. All right. Ronnie, since we didn't get you, what you gotta share off the top of your head. What you got?
I didn't put it in there.
Maybe hold on. Well, let me see. I can do a quick refresh here.
That's too bad. It was my best quote ever.
All right, you're just gonna have to give it to us.
Well, you can't see the image because I told my artistic assistant that I want a cosmic image with hearts, and I can put it in the slide deck if you can improvise for 1 minute.
Just go.
Embodiment means we no longer say I had this experience. We say I am this experience. And that's by Sue Monk Kidd.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep. I like it. I like it. All right. So I was on theme. Easter spells out hope for the coming year. It's the ultimate reminder that the end is usually just a beginning in disguise. So that's a great lesson to always remember that anything that comes to an end, even that could be the biggest change the world has ever seen. So don't ever forget that. All right, guys, we are ending right on time. Thank you guys for always being here. Again, visit livinginhawaii.com for all of the latest information and the sign up for the Islander Ohana. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks on April 17th. Let's go down the row and say aloha. Mike, you up first.
Happy Aloha Friday, guys. Have a beautiful day and an even better weekend.
Happy Easter, everyone. God bless.
Happy Passover. Happy Easter. And aloha from Kauai.
Ja! Aloha, everybody.
Love it. All right, aloha, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.